Hello, I'm Dr. Ed, the Healing Vet, and today I'm talking about how a holistic veterinarian keeps your pets healthy and happy naturally. Now, just a little bit of background. I did not start out as a holistic veterinarian. When I graduated, I was just your regular everyday Western medicine vet who got taught how to throw prescription drugs and surgery at everything and anything that you saw, how to diagnose symptoms, categorize them into diseases, and then intervene to supposedly make the animals better with prescription medications and surgery, which seemed like it worked pretty well. But as I found out as I went along, um, though that Western approach often gave symptomatic relief, it at the same time tended to cause side effects and often made the underlying disease worse and didn't get to the root cause of the disease either. Now, my first step into becoming the holistic veterinarian that I love being these days was when I realized that dogs and cats experience neck and back pain, just like I do. And big thanks to Dr. Tom Ahern, who opened up my eyes to all of that. And then I learned that not only could I find where there was neck and back pain, which I never got taught about at university, not even a little bit, but I could use touch and movement and pressure and mobilization to relieve neck and back pain, and started seeing animals showing big improvements in well-being from me doing that work. But it took a really serious illness for me of chronic fatigue syndrome, which made me so sick that I couldn't work at all for 3 years, and then led to making my life a misery for another 12 years. And that's what really pushed me into becoming a wholly holistic veterinarian. How did this happen? Because I had to change my diet and make it healthy. I had to explore a whole lot of herbs and supplements to make myself healthy. I had to work with practitioners to help me with pain and tension in my body. And I discovered, probably the most important thing of all, that energy healing was the one thing that gave me more relief, made me feel better than just about anything else. Now, I, being curious, then decided to try out all the things that helped me, the holistic things that helped me get well and recover from serious chronic awful disease, and very quickly found that the animals I worked with also responded beautifully to this holistic type approach. And what I learned was that then I started really healing animals. So I went from using prescription medications to make animals feel better without actually healing the disease most of the time, to using holistic approaches that led to healing the cause of the disease in these animals. And I'll talk about a case study of an animal I worked with in a little bit. So I stopped putting out fires and I started managing the whole being so that the fires went away. So here's my philosophy and practice as a holistic veterinarian. Now, I know that every animal is unique, and every animal's illness is also unique. So the first thing I do when I work with someone who's brought an animal to me to help them is that I dig into this animal's life story. I get a detailed story of everything that's happened in their whole life and when they got them right through till now, all the little things that sometimes are big things that the people don't think are important. But your pet's story when it comes to healing is incredibly important. Then we go into the disease, the symptoms, when they develop, what has helped, what's made it worse, what hasn't helped. The environment where your pets live, and that includes you, the human, because you are a big part of your pet's environment, especially when it comes to consciousness and energy. And I find that often that the humans are a big part of the problem, and we need to help the humans shift their energy to help the pets really, really be able to heal properly. And then my final ingredient, and what I think is the secret sauce of how I work, is a comprehensive intuitive assessment, tuning into and perceiving what's going on in your pet's energy systems, their energetic relationships with you, their human, how they're going with the earth where you live. And I honestly believe this is one of the most powerful ways that I help pets to heal, because this is where we get into what's underneath, what's really causing the disease at an energetic level. And then we create a holistic treatment plan. Now, the first thing that I always do with every animal that I see that's got chronic illness is to get into the diet, getting your pet's diet right and their gut healthy. Sometimes can be 50, 60, 75% of the solution, just that alone. So healthy, fresh, whole foods diet. Sometimes we'll dig into energetics of diet with, neutral or cooling foods or warming foods, and from a traditional Chinese medical type food perspective. The second pillar is where we dig into all the holistic veterinarian treatments, supplements, interventions. And for me, this might include bodywork, massage, energy healing, nutraceuticals, herbals, probiotics, edible clay, supplements, PEA, NAC, low-dose naltrexone, cannabis extracts, fecal transplants, acupressure, and sometimes I will also refer people off to other practitioners for different modalities if I feel that's what's needed. We don't just work this treatment plan up and then go throw it in the air and say, well, that's done. Then we have to actually put it into practice and have some regular reviews to see what's working and how it's working. And the third pillar, as I said before, is intuitive connection, perception, and energy healing. And this is where often can be the thing that unsticks these animals that might have been really, really chronically unwell for a long time, and nothing else has worked. I've had a number of animals where energy healing has been the thing that has moved all of that. Thanks to all of you who are listening and watching. If you could say hi in the chat, let me know where you're from. If you've got any questions, I'd love to answer them. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Milo, who is a little dog who I've been caring for a few years now. When he first came to me, he was red hot, itching continually, like couldn't settle, continual scratching, chewing. He was the itchiest little man I think I've ever met. Anxious, stressed, had severe gut issues, and needed to go to the hospital, had fires put out with pharmaceuticals once or twice a week on average. He was a hot mess. Now, when we got this little guy onto a holistic treatment plan, over about 6 to 12 months, he improved out of sight. He still was a little bit itchy, but he was a million times better than he was. At this point, another vet pressured Milo's human into giving Milo a vaccination, and this caused a bit of a crash and a bit of a relapse. So we refocused, got stuck back into a more intensive holistic treatment plan. Now, he came to see me last week because he needed to have an appointment so I could prescribe more CBD, cannabis extract for him, and he was the happiest, healthiest, most relaxed little guy that I have ever seen since I've known him. His owner told me that he hadn't needed to go to the vet to have fires put out for a year and had very slight occasional itches, wasn't chewing his feet, had put weight on, and was the happiest he'd ever been. So one important point here was he was really good, and then his mum had a life change where she got into a healthy relationship where she actually felt supported and loved, which was really, really good for her. And this is where his final healing really took off. So the human is super, super important. Hi, Laura from the Macedon Rangers. Thanks for saying hi. You're just around the corner from me in Taradale. So if you ever want me to help you, give me a yell. Yes, so if you want me to be your pet's holistic veterinarian, I help with advice for puppies, anxiety, allergies, gut issues, behavior issues, any kind of chronic illness, and especially chronic illnesses that are non-responsive to treatment, that nothing seems to work for. Love to help you and your pets heal and be well. So give me a hoy if you'd like me to work with you. I work on Zoom. I help people all over the world, and I work in person if you're close to me in Taradale. Bye for now. Have a beautiful week. Please give your pets a lovely pat from me, and I'll see you back in another one of these videos before too long. Bye for now.